Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. We made it.
Woo! We're alive.
Thank God.
Blessings.
Thank all the gods.
Thank all the gods. This is the day that the Lord has made.
Let us rejoice and be glad.
Glad in it. Yay. Megan Batoon, you know what? Have you and I ever discussed religion before?
No, but on the last episode, we both recited the Lord's Prayer. You did it in Spanish and I did it in English.
Sí.
But other than that, no.
I think it's come up like, when we just got like random dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
But I forget all that shit,
I feel like, is this a bad blanket statement to say? At least for Filipinos, I can say this, but like we're all basically raised Catholic.
I think that's fair to say.
Okay.
Yeah. From my knowledge of Filipino people.
What about Thai?
Thai people is a predominantly Buddhist country.
That's epic.
Is it?
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
I think of all the religions, like when I did my deep dive of all of them, Buddhism was the one that was the most aligned with what I think.
It's pretty cool, man. I was raised by my school I went to a Christian school from preschool to like 8th grade, you know what I'm saying? So that was really where I kind of put my whole everything into from an early age, just because of like I was going there so young. But my parents were Buddhist.
Interesting.
Yeah. They put me into a Christian school just because they wanted to put me in a private school. They thought it would be like safer and like just better, you know what I'm saying? So by default, I ended up at a Christian school, and by double default, I ended up like, being raised a Christian boy, you know what I'm saying?
A Christian boy. Wait, so Buddhism is so interesting to me because there's like one principle there that really I think is cool.
Yeah.
That is like, things are gonna die anyway. Things are already broken, so enjoy them while they're alive and that they're together.
Is that a Buddhist principle?
Is it?
Because that's kind of how I like live my life, and I didn't know that was like a Buddhist principle.
Yeah, maybe it was your parents telling you that without knowing it was Buddhism.
They never said that shit.
They never said that shit. They never talked to me ever. We've never said a word.
They barely gave me some breadsticks and told me to go to sleep.
And gave me the Christian communion wafers.
The Jesus?
Bro. That's good.
That's a Dane Cook joke. I took that.
Remember Dane Cook?
Yeah, I do. I've seen him live at a comedy club.
Comedy club with a hard C.
When he was super popping, we went to a comedy club randomly, and then he popped in, and we were like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, I think he was the first comedian that I ever heard of. I remember being in like high school or high school, and then it was just like went around. There was like animated bits of his, and those were going pretty viral on YouTube. And that's that. Yeah, Dane Cook was one of the first comedians I ever heard of.
Damn, I guess he really did. Like he was popping when we were at our like really beginning like MySpace, YouTube shit, like entering the wave of clips and viral internet shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I always was like, I watched a lot of TV growing up. And then so I eventually just would land on Comedy Central. And Comedy Central used to be just like playing old stand-up.
Yeah.
So I watched it was like a Robin Williams thing I used to watch all the time. And my dad used to watch stand-up. So I was always kind of really familiar with that like scene.
That's cool.
But Dane Cook, man, I was a huge Dane Cook fan. I mean, I feel like we all were at one point.
Yeah. What was the first one that you remember? First like bit of his?
Yeah, it was a special that used to play on Comedy Central all the time. And I loved, and that Jeez-It joke stuck out in my head because it was all about like the communion crackers and shit. And it resonated with me because he spoke about going to like a Catholic church. And so when you're not Catholic and you're doing a Catholic communion, you don't put your like hand or tongue out.
Yeah.
You do like you either like bow your head or you put your hands together or something like that. So the priest knows you're not Catholic.
Interesting.
And then he'll kind of like maybe just kind of like bless you. He does, I forget, right? But I remember that because that's what I used to do at my Catholic high school that I went to for 1 year. I would let them know I'm not Catholic, but hey, I'm here, right? So Dane Cook had a whole bit where he would like to confuse the priest. He would go up and be like, type of shit, right? Oh, like, are you gonna do it with my hand? You want to tell him what are you gonna do? And he had like a whole bit just about the church, which stuck out for me.
Sure.
That's why we were just a bunch of kids. He was such like physical, loud comedy, super funny.
Yeah. Have you ever seen really early Jim Carrey bits, clips? That man.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's still standing. Because like the way that he would throw his body around in insane ways.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey raised a generation.
And have you heard that quote that he gave at that college speech?
What is it?
The shit about that he learned from his dad about just like doing what you want in life.
No, tell me.
This is a quote that like when people ask me for like quotes on life, I quote Jim Carrey quoting his dad. Okay, so his dad quit the like pursuit of being an entertainer to get a real job because he wanted to provide for his family.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he worked for that job for, I don't know, 20 years or some shit, and they laid him off. Okay. And Jim Carrey said what he learned from that is, and I forget if he learned it or his dad told him this, but it's like, you can fail at doing the things you don't love. So you might as well go after the shit you love doing. So, and that was like such a, like, I was like, oh yeah, man. As a young kid, be like, yeah, you know, should I pursue my dreams? Like that type of shit, you know? It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and he has like some story too about, you know, he like told his dad he was gonna make $1 million for some, I forget the exact numbers and whatever. Like he told his dad he's gonna make like, I don't know, let's say $1 million.
Yeah.
And then his dad died before he like really began to pop off. Like, but then I think at his dad's funeral, he put like a check for like $1 million in his dad's like pocket or something. It was some shit like that where it was like, he really started to pop off, but his dad had died, and then he had like the check and like put it in his dad's pocket. Yeah.
That's funny. I feel like I've heard another Jim Carrey story about a check for $1 million, but it was one that he wrote to himself.
Oh.
It's like, what? We need to ask Jim about all of this.
Internet, man.
I know.
Or like, have you ever had that moment where you've had a story that you thought like, oh yeah, this happened to my friend.
Right.
And then you tell it to somebody else and it's just some like ancient internet story that everyone retells over and over again. Like, for example, that like friend of a friend who went on a blind date.
Okay.
And then she started to get some like weird allergic reaction when she went to this guy's apartment. So she left. And then she went to the doctor and the doctor said, oh, this reaction only happens when you come into contact with somebody who like is a cannibal or some shit like that. You've never heard this story?
No.
It's like, every time I've heard this story, it's always like, you know, my friend's cousin.
That's fun.
Went on a blind date. She had some weird reaction, went to the doctor. Turns out this is only something you get if you run into somebody who's like a practicing like cannibal. And then like, and then you hear that story and then you hear it from like 5 different people. And you're like, well, what is this?
Right. Does everyone know the same friend?
Yeah. Or the fucking story about like, you know, my aunt, she got sick because she had some Pepsi without wiping the thing down. Come to find out, it was rat feces on that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn. So cannibalism is interesting to me.
Let's talk about it.
Is it real? Yes.
What do you mean?
Like, how are people are eating people alive, or is it until they're waiting until they're dead? And also, how are you chewing through skin like that?
What do you mean? I think ideally, let's put this in the perspective of you're gonna eat some people, okay?
Yes.
I think it's probably worst case scenario.
Sure.
Okay. Are you talking about cannibalism where it's like, oh shit, we got frozen?
Yeah.
And then we had to eat somebody, or like we just enjoy eating people.
That's what I'm confused about.
So I saw a video I didn't want to see years ago online, and it wasn't graphic shit, but it was a guy literally interviewing some tribe in a very like just random area of the world somewhere. I forget, right?
Yeah.
But he was interviewing them, and they were like, yeah, no, we eat humans
For pleasure.
And it was, and I don't remember if it's like they killed, or it's like or it's people that die of natural causes, or they hunt. I fucking forget. But I think it's like, you know, they would prepare like preparing an animal. You know what I'm saying?
So you cook it.
You cook it. You take you take the body part, you take the skin off, and you cook it like it's a piece of meat. Well, I mean, it is a piece of meat, I guess.
I wonder
what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anything with mold and salt would be probably good.
Probably so good. I mean, I think human meat's probably pretty lean too, you know? Probably more like I don't know, probably beefier than...
Damn.
Maybe it depends on the person.
Damn. What do you think the most unappetizing part of the body is? Because obviously, all the cheeks are going to be good.
Yeah.
Face cheeks, butt cheeks, yum.
Oh, the ass cheeks are gonna be fucking fire.
Yeah, that's like pork belly of the body.
Yum.
What would be the worst? Kneecaps.
I was going similar vibe. I was gonna say scrotum skin.
That's like a pork rind. That's a chicharrón. I don't know.
Facts.
I think that might be actually pretty good.
You know
it's
what?
like salmon skin when you're like, you didn't think it was good, but then you're like, that's the best part of the salad.
Unagi. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, well then maybe not the scrotum skin. Yeah.
Because when you think about human skin, it's all kind of soft.
Yeah, and it probably crisps up real nice.
Actually,
yeah,
I might eat
I know. I'm like, you're getting me hungry.
Yeah, I don't know, like knuckle bits.
Like, is not the good part.
Yeah,
probably anything that gets really ashy, elbow bits, knee bits.
That's when you throw it into a hot dog.
Just grind it up in like a human glizzy. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm
also thinking like Sweeney Todd. Like, have you seen Sweeney Todd?
Never seen. I know the story, but
okay.
I've never seen it.
So basically, when he kills people in his barber chair, then underneath there's like a cafe, and then he puts the bodies down there, and they make meat pies. And they were doing bad as a bakery, and then when they started killing people and using their meat in the meat pies, then they were like really busy. So, and that was like the secret ingredient. So I'm like, I guess you could grind up everything and put it in anything.
I mean, look, I feel like anything with some onions and some garlic and salt and pepper is gonna be like pretty, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cause I would never eat some people meat.
But when there's onions and salt.
Onions and garlic, I don't know, a little bit of my mom's sauce, I don't know, man.
You know what'd be really good?
What?
A lip. You ever like someone so much that you just want to like, not even just suck their lip, but bite it and rip it off.
Yeah, especially when it's like a nice juicy one.
Yeah.
Bro, one time. So, you can go to certain places and get like lip tacos, like Labios Tacos, okay?
That sounds like a
labia,
vagina.
I know. Isn't that funny how that
no,
works?
Labios Tacos together.
Oh, Labios and tacos. Oh, lip tacos. Bam, 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 bang, bang, bang. So one day when I was dating my ex, I got a flyer for this taco place that had all types of different like cuts of meat that you could get, right?
Yeah.
And mind you, my ex was Mexican, and she was also very jealous at the time. We were young, right? So I fucking texted her. I'm like, what does labios mean, right? She's like, lips, period. Why? And I was like, it's tacos. It's tacos. I swear.
Damn.
I'm not flirting with no Spanish bitches, I promise.
Right. Damn. Jealousy is interesting because I feel like sometimes it's hot and sometimes it is so unattractive when it's overly jealous. But sometimes you want to be like, you care about me?
Yeah,
when
I
you
know.
Get just a little bit of like, you're mine.
I know. We all got that little bit of, it's nice to see a little bit of toxicity popping out a little bit. Like, oh, you mad? Why are you so mad right now?
Yeah, you care a little bit.
You
love
love me. Yeah, Are you a jealous girlfriend, Megan, too?
Oh, man. I feel like I have been before, for sure. I think right now I'm learning I'm learning a lot right now in dating, like of being affectionate without attachment.
Okay.
That's really huge. I also have a lot of friends that are poly. So there's something called compersion. Have we talked about this before?
Compersion? No. We talked about the poly shit a little bit, but not compersion.
Compersion is the pleasure that you get from one of your partners getting pleasure from someone else. Not even sexually, but it also could when I think about compersion, for me, it's like you could also, like I could have compersion for you by you eating food because I know how much you like food.
Just
so I'm like,
seeing someone you love get pleasure from something is pleasurable.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm like in learning that and the Buddhism philosophy of like allowing people to do their thing. And if they want to be around, like people are in the end going to do what they want to do no matter what.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's like jealousy. I feel like when you try to hold something so tightly, that's when it slips through your fingers and it doesn't feel, it feels choked out. But what you want to feel is, freedom and like a lot of allowance to do whatever, because if you feel that way, then people are going to probably want to be around you more than feeling like, oh, I feel trapped. She wants me to be in,
Yeah, so and I've along the same lines. I've had friends who were like in open relationships, right? And people are always like, "Oh, okay, like why would you want to be somebody if all they want to do is like fuck someone else?" But it was always more about like it's not about constantly wanting to like have sex with somebody else. It's about just like, hey, you can do this, and I trust that you'll come back to me and you choose me at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't. It's not like you have a checklist of people you have to have sex with at the end of the week. It's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is there and that is what it is, but we have this and it's different and it's special. And hey, if you, I'm not tripping if you want to go do a little bit of that, I don't know if I could do that.
An open relationship? I don't think I could either. But I guess when you're dating and you're not exclusive, you're kind of in an open relationship with anything.
Yeah, true. And I guess you don't care until you do. You know what I'm saying? When I put myself in the mindset of like, could I be in an open relationship? I mean, not Chia would never be down. But But I always kind of think like, okay, would it be fun? Let's say Chia gave me a pass, right? Go hook up with somebody. Like, yeah, of course I could. If I got the pass from her, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could probably go do that. But then would I be down with her doing that?
Right.
I don't. Well, let's see. Do I have the what's the compersion gene in my body? Well, not gonna lie, Megan Batoon. Not gonna lie.
As you should have.
The cuck stigma aside.
I know, right?
Yeah. There's, when me and Chia were long distance, right? There was like, there was a couple handful of porn stars that I found that I'm like, look similar to Chia in the face, right? And like, sometimes, man, there would be days where I'd come across those girls and I would see a video of them like getting a train ran on them or some shit. And I'd be like, and I'd squint. I'm like, oh man, she kind of looks like Chia. And I'd be like, and I'd be, I can't believe you can't believe you would do this to me.
Feeling so many emotions, like just Josie and turned on.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly. And I'm just getting out like, wow, really? You're gonna do that? Oh, wow, you're seeing me in a week.
You're pissed at her. She doesn't even know it. Oh my God.
So there's that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's it's complex. People are different,
Yeah. I feel like I'm probably middle ground jealous. Yeah. I think a healthy dose of it.
How would you feel if you were dating somebody and they were like, I want to watch you with someone else?
I don't know. I feel like I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Because I like performing.
Word. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So like, wait, a little stage?
But you also get stage fright.
So. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as you being turned on and upset at the same time is me being on stage.
Word.
It's like I like performing and stage fright. So I'm just like fully embodied.
And he's pissed. He's like, you don't do that shit with me.
Yeah.
He's like, all of a sudden, you have an audience and you're putting on a show.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not like that sexual of a person. And I was telling my friend this yesterday, her dating story is so interesting, but she was like, she was essentially being like, you just need to like sleep with women. Because she was like, I've heard so many other girls say that before. Like, oh, I've been married for this amount of years and I'm not like really sexual. And then like they like start hooking up with women and they're like, oh, I can't stop.
Really? Or is that because it's new?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Like, not to take away from anybody's like sexual rediscovery of whatever is going on in their life, but it's like, there is that whole aspect of like, oh, I've never done this before.
Right.
Like I don't know about you, but like when a dude first discovers like jerking off, it's like all you do.
Right.
It's like all you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like if my mom was going for a poo and I knew she was going to be gone for like 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, here we go, baby.
Right.
I got time to bust one out,
What is the weirdest thing that you've used instead of your hand?
All right. This is around when we take a break. We're going to take a break and I'll tell you about it right after this. Megan Batoon, let me tell you. When I had my like, just, I don't know, I was probably like 14, 13, 14. First discovered that I could jerk off myself and just whatever, right? Now I'm like so curious about what can I do? What can I do?
A world of possibilities.
So back in the day, right? I used to go to this website that gave you tips and different things you could try out. It was called jerkinworld.com.
Oh my, and everybody's like, but like,
yeah.
slanging and jerking at the same time.
I'm a jerk, I know. And so there was one, and this is probably like as soon as you ask me that question, this is the first one that pops out in my mind, right? They were like, perfect thing to use, banana peel. Because they were like, it's naturally lubricated on the inside, and you could just bust into the banana peel, throw it out, easy cleanup, right?
Oh, okay, sustainable king.
Yeah, right? I'm doing it for the world. Captain Planet was like, this is how you jerk off. So I did it. It was cool. But the little like rinds or the little fucking those things peel off. It's not as clean as a cleanup as they make it out to be. Right?
Yeah.
So because of the friction and whatnot. So that's probably the weirdest, quote unquote, weirdest thing I used to jerk off back in the day.
Do you remember these things from the 90s? I sometimes when I was younger and I understood what it was happening over in the male section, I was like, ooh, this would be perfect for that. But it was like this like jelly.
They don't work.
That's what I heard. I think I heard that on the internet too.
So to explain here, you would go like to a field trip or some shit to like the Natural History Museum, or you would go to like, I don't know, Spencer's or Oz, and they would have these little plastic colorful things where it's like you put your fingers in it, and of course a dude is always like, I gotta put my dick in this thing.
100p.
It's just as soon as you get in there, there's no pressure. None. It's like there's just no pressure in there. It's squished.
I see. Okay.
Which is fine, but without the like pressure, it's just kind of like it's whatever.
Wait, what if you put it, you know, when you go to the doctor and they are taking your vitals and they have that inflatable thing? Sometimes when that is gripping my arm, I'm like, I think I might die. Like sometimes I'm like, do you guys know how intense this is? And then at the very last minute when I'm like, I'm gonna pop, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, we made it. But yeah, that'd be crazy.
Well, now I'm curious. I'm gonna go to the gift shop at the aquarium. Then go to the back of a Rite Aid.
And then put that in
there, and then put this in that.
Right, and then a banana peel. People are gonna be like, sir.
Yeah, put on a video of a Chia lookalike.
And a Dane Cook audio in the back. This guy.
While I'm eating some human meat. Oh, man. Thanks for tipping experience for $50. We can make it happen.
That's so did you see this like Airbnb thing that was like, oh, Airbnb is not just for like stays anymore.
Yes.
It's for experiences in the world. That can be the thanks for tipping Airbnb experience.
You know what? I'm interested.
That is chaotic.
But yeah, no pressure on those things.
No pressure.
Well, Megan Mattoon, I would be remiss to not ask you about your first diddling situation.
You know what's crazy about mine is I don't know who taught me. I was in a chat room and someone was like, this is how you, I don't even know if they called it masturbating, but they're like, this is how you like make yourself feel good.
Oh.
And they like told me how to do it. And I went into my bathroom and I don't know, I'm in like middle school or something. And I like try and I'm like, it's not working. And I come back and I'm like, it's not working.
What?
Yeah, I was like live.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't live.
Right. We're going like on camera.
Yeah. It was like in real time. And they were like, just keep doing it until something happens.
Meanwhile, fucking 40-year-old Larry from Nebraska is
100%.
like, oh yeah.
100%.
Jerking his dick.
Yeah, and then like I did, and then I was like, whoa, and then it was kind of similar.
You know what? Go ahead.
I was just like, I would find anything. I think I like the edge of a bathtub, like it was just like anything.
It really does take commitment for that first time because
you don't know what you're working for.
You don't know. Yeah. You have no idea. Especially like a dude, you know, when you were first like kind of just trying to like, you know, just jerk your shit, it's kind of like, this is what is this? This is going nowhere. You really have to like mentally be like, okay, I'm doing this, you know? You ever watch Pen 15?
Yeah.
There's that masturbation episode where she just gets obsessed.
Sure, yeah.
And she's like doing it at the dinner table and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, crazy ass show.
Man, humans are so wild.
Well, I think like other animals masturbate too, though.
Like who?
There's this, I've discussed this on a podcast with David, but there's this video of this chimp.
Oh, well, yeah, and like bonobos or any of the chimp gorilla species.
Right, true. Yeah, he's like has a frog and he's like using the frog, his mouth.
To, like, my God.
Yeah, a little pocket poon.
The
dolphins are notoriously horny too.
Sure.
Yeah, you've heard that, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe like all the really just smart, like cognitive animals at one point are like, oh, I just accidentally rubbed against some anemones. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, wow. So much pleasure to be had in the world.
Man, it's all just out there for us to take it and have it.
You know?
Why not?
This is a great time to take a question, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yo, Meg Tim, Nose from Philly, 8-time listener, last-time caller. I found myself in a situation where I caught feelings for my therapist. I feel like y'all both would have a very different response to this, but hypothetically, if y'all found yourself in that situation, would you attempt it? This message will explode in 5 seconds. Keep doing your thing.
My guy, do you want to do an intro on my mixtape or what?
I know, right? I like even the voice alone without all of like the charisma. Just the voice alone is great.
It was very Philly. Hey.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I've never been to therapy. How intimate does it get?
Very.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, it's not. But
that I've never been to therapy?
It's interesting that you have, it feels like you have things that have been worked out that would be helpful to have gone to therapy, but that's interesting.
I grok what you're saying.
What does that mean?
It's a word.
From Philly?
No, it's just a word. Check this out. Hey Siri, define grok. Doesn't come up. It's a word, I promise. Let me just look this up really quick.
Grok?
Yeah. GROK, to understand intuitively or by empathy.
Interesting.
I only learned that from my years in college. One of my professors was like, if you grok what I'm saying here, and it stuck with me because it's such a random word.
Was he a cool teacher?
Yeah, he was a cool guy.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. It wasn't like an intimate class. It was like, I was in an auditorium, and I literally remembered nothing else from that whole class. I don't even remember what class it was. Sure. But I remember grok.
Grok with it.
So
lean with it, grok with it. Lean with it, grok with it.
Lean with it, grok.
Holy hell, that's sick.
Do the grok away. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying right now because I analyze shit I'm a very self-analytical person. Yeah. So there is shit where I feel like I would be interested in hearing what a therapist would have to say, but I also don't feel like there's shit that like has damaged me. Not that you need to be damaged to go to therapy, but there's not like anything that I feel like necessarily needs to be worked out.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would be curious to have a conversation with somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to that type of shit. But also, I feel like I'm good, you know? There's shit that I've analyzed of myself. I'm like, oh, did I have such an emphasis on like trying to hook up all the time because I didn't grow up doing stereotypically masculine things? Like I didn't play sports. I'm like, is me hooking up with lots of women just to make up for the fact that I didn't do manly things, right? Shit like that always crosses my mind. I say it jokingly, but also I say it like kind of like in my head. Like, so I think about shit like that.
Right. So you're self-reflecting, which is, basically, I mean, that's essentially what it is. I feel like I saw this graphic one time that was like the therapist was in one chair and then the client was in the other. And it was like the patient had all of these like scribbles and thoughts above. And then the therapist was like combing them out. So it's really just like they're there to help sort out all these things with the knowledge of everything that they learn in psychology.
Yeah, and that makes so much sense, right? Okay, enough about me. therapy.
The first time you've ever said that.
Oh, well, it's only because of this show. I'm like, this show we're trying to help people. Let me stop. Talking about yourself is great when you have another podcast where you're just babbling and yapping.
Yeah.
But for this, I'm like, all right, let me bring it back. Therapy, you said it gets very intimate.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about therapy is it is essentially like dating too. Like you can like find therapists that just are great on their own or for different people, but don't work for you.
Yeah.
Because the best part about therapy, or like what works so well, is not about the modality of therapy. Like there's like so many different types of therapy, but what's more important than those types is your relationship with that person. So that's what's the most important, so that you can feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable and go into these spaces that are a little bit darker corners of your mind. So it's really about the trust and the relationship that you have with the therapist. So the fact that he is attracted to them is a conflict of interest.
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
So I mean, I feel like in that situation, right? I mean, it's almost like the risk of, do I want to take this next level with like my friend? Because then you have to everything changes, right? Then she's not your therapist anymore.
Right.
Okay, so my answer, as someone who's never been in therapy, but also as someone who was like, if I was in this situation, I'm comfortable with this girl who, I mean, I'm assuming I find attractive. I'm comfortable. She knows me now. She's not judging because that's her job.
Right.
She knows probably a lot of my issues, helping me out, and she's hot, as we've established.
Yeah.
How could I not go after that for me? But also there's the issue of, this is a therapist who I trusted and I've built this relationship with. Do I want to ruin that? As someone who's never been in therapy, I would probably say go for it. But what do you have to say?
Well, that's interesting to me. I think, well, I've actually had this situation before. Not that I liked my therapist in a romantic way, but one of my early therapists, I thought she was so cool. And that is also a blockage of being vulnerable and authentic and real, because if I want her to think that I'm cool and impress her with how smart I am, then I'm not getting the most care out of being there. So it's like, you know what I mean? But here's what I would do. What I kind of love about this situation is that you have an opportunity to actively work on something that's coming up in the room, to be like, hey, I'm attracted to you. Let's talk about that. And then it gets weird, but at the same time, you could be like, I don't know. I just feel like if I have something that comes up in session, where I'm like I'm pretty, it's funny today because I was like a couple minutes late, but like I'm pretty like punctual. And for a while, like we were starting at like 11:03, like at therapy, and I would clock it. And then I would just be like, as long as I'm getting at 11:53, like if we shave any minute of time, reimburse me. Like it's so specific for me. And I had to like bring that up. And then we talked about that. It's like, okay, well, what does being punctual mean to you? It's respect. Okay, well, what is this money thing? It's like, okay, well, if I'm paying for something, I want to get this specific amount out of it. So like the fact that it's actively coming up between them is kind of really awesome, to be like, this is what's coming. Because then she could be like, or they could be like, what about me is attractive to you? And this is what you might be looking for in a partner. Or this is what you're missing in your friendships. Like it's so juicy, the fact that there's an attraction here.
Batoon, and this, you might not have done this on purpose, but you've turned this into like the best long game holler situation, where it's like, depending on how you look at it, it could be perceived as, I don't know, like sleazy, but not, because it's like, now as somebody who has fully told him, go for it. To play the angle, not that we're playing anybody, but to use the angle of using this as like almost like the pitch for the date. Like, hey, here's something I need to confess. I'm kind of attracted to somebody who I maybe shouldn't be attracted to. She's just like checks all my boxes. I go home, I can't stop thinking about her. And then when it gets there and she's like, well, who's it? You're like, I probably shouldn't say. And you're like, why? Like, we kind of have this like very specific relationship.
They would have caught on by now, I feel.
And, she knows for sure. Now it's like cute, you know what I'm saying?
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Well, I think it has the potential to either be so cute, be the perfect little accidental meet cute.
Yeah.
Is it meet cute or meet cute?
Meet cute.
Meet cute. Or it's like, okay, I see where this is going. Maybe we shouldn't work together anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's like, now you've eliminated the potential embarrassing rejection. You feel me? Where you're like, oh man, yeah, look, I've just struggled to find somebody. This person made me realize that I don't need this and I don't need that. And she's like, is he talking about me?
Yeah.
And she goes home at night, ends the session. She's fucking curious. Oh, fuck. I like this guy too. Schedule the next session. She's like, let's talk about this again. You guys start having sexual intercourse on the couch
with the tears.
Wow.
Still wet from the previous client.
Yeah, using the tears for lube.
Nice.
She charges you. Now it's a prostitution issue. Whoa. All the lines are blurred, but it doesn't matter. Go for it.
No. No. Worst advice ever.
It was your advice.
Was it?
You told him to do that.
I said be honest.
Yeah, I did too. But you said use it as a way to tease it out.
I did not say that.
Well, that's how I took it.
I think though, to your point, if you wanted to use this as leverage for a long game, how cool would it be if you brought it up maturely and she could see how you're handling it? And then, I don't know, that's the thing that I'm learning right now with like somebody that I'm dating is that like, well, I'm like, what's dating? You know?
Semantics, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been seeing this person and the communication has been so mature that every time that there is an opportunity to communicate and to be an adult about something, then it's like, oh, you get more points. So if he starts talking to his therapist and is like, this is on my mind and is upfront about it, and then they start talking about it and she or they, I don't know your therapist, but could see how you handle it, and then being mature about it, and then being like, well, if he was the one to be like, I really like you, I'm developing these feelings, I'm interested in this, so I'm going to find a different therapist so that if you are interested, we can maybe work this out. If you know,
you are giving him these are the best lines you're spitting right now. They're so good. All these options. Oh, he's from Philly. These Johns are so.
These Johns.
This John is a good John to John it up right now.
Yeah, John it up.
Well, Megan Batuna actually just gave you some fire advice on how to seduce your therapist. So.
Seduce. Oh my gosh.
I say handle it, fool.
Handle it, fool.
Handle that.
Let us know how it goes.
Hey, how's it going? I love the show. My name's Marlin. I'm a father and a teacher, and I was, used to do a lot of graphic design and video directing and editing and things like that. So my question was, how do you kind of keep that creative part of you alive? Once I started having my kids, I felt like I needed to prioritize money to make a living over, taking these projects that don't really pay anything or pay nothing at all. And now as a teacher, I teach art classes and graphic design classes, so that kind of keeps me going. So I was just curious as to like when you guys get bogged down by family and all these other work, or you feel like you're just not as creative as you used to be, how do you keep that part of you going and satisfied? Thanks.
First of all, great job making that turn while leaving us the question.
I know. I heard that blinker.
It sounded real smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping it alive has been interesting once it becomes your job. I mean, I don't have a family, so the pressure of providing for other people is not on. I mean, pressure to provide for myself, which is already enough for one person.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine like multiplying that by however many. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge, huge thing. What I do like is that he's an art teacher. So even in that, however long he's teaching those classes, like even if it's like, okay, here's the lesson for the day and all the kids are doing it, then he can work on his stuff too. So that's kind of nice.
He gets to keep that little art fire alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I relate to this. Big relate vibes to this. There is a lot of pressure once you have the babies. I mean, I'm thankful for the pressure that the babies put on me.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only did it like kind of like motivate me to get back to work, it also kind of, you know, gives you the, I mean, same thing. I guess it's the same thing as motivation, but it gives me a reason again. You know what I'm saying? When I was feeling just a little too complacent, getting a little lazy. You know?
Yeah.
But there is that issue of like, do I just do what makes money, or do what I like love and what like fuels me and makes me feel just like, you know, satisfied in like my creation of shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, of course, you know, there's a reason why I'm like mainly podcasting now, because it's like, it's not something I have to put a whole lot of effort necessarily into when I'm not in the studio.
Right.
I can come here, bang it out, give you all these amazing episodes.
I thought you were going to say amazing advice, and I was like,
that too.
Go for it.
I stand by that. And then go back and spend time with my kids, right?
Yeah.
But of course, there's a reason why I'm still harping and carving out time for this script, because I need to do it for myself. I need to fucking scratch that itch, you know? Like, if I didn't care about money, I would still be doing sketches on YouTube, because no one gives a shit about those anymore. They don't get sent out to the algorithm. No one watches them.
Yeah.
But I loved and I miss making those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like, I think everybody that started off doing more production heavy scripted shit on YouTube, they kind of had to be like, if we're doing it, it's for the love, you know?
Totally.
Like, shout out to Wong Fu. They're still cranking out like the occasional really like well done scripted production. And we all know them shits aren't making money. We lose money doing those
Absolutely.
things, you know? So, but like as a creative, you have to, or else you'll just go crazy. You know?
I know. And I think it like the balance of it all. I remember one of my first like team members when I moved out here and started doing this as like a job. I was so hell bent on being an artist, and I was like, art first. Everything needs to be like so artistic. And he was just like, you can't have art without business. And so I'm like, yeah, I feel, and I was talking to somebody else about this, is the idea of like selling out. And I was like, as a creative, I'm like a little art kid from a tiny town in Florida, right? Like at the core of it all. So like, is it selling out if you're funding your dreams? And if you're like, oh, I take this one job that's maybe not creatively fulfilling, but since I did that, now I can spend 3 months writing a script, or I really feel like you can do jobs that you don't want to do that aren't fulfilling. But even if they are, like I hear so many people being like, I've got to direct this Ford commercial, and it's like, I'm sorry, like you get to be creative and work with like a big brand, like even if you can't get like a cool ass shot that you want because they want the logo. Okay, you could probably still be creative within the parameters of what they want, and then take the money that you make from that, still a creative job, and then do a sketch on YouTube. And it's okay if you lose money, because it's like you're getting fulfilled internally and you're getting nourished creatively, and then you're still feeding yourself and your family.
I don't care what nobody says. The goal is never to be a starving artist. You feel me?
Right.
It's like, if you want to do that, cool, do your art. You know, it's like, even if it's like not necessarily for money, you want people to see your shit and be like, this is cool. If you want to just be a quiet artist in your garage, okay, do that. No one has to know about it. But like, to an extent, you know, I feel like every artist has a little bit of ego. We like to be, you know, just like, you know, pumped up a little bit. Like we make this shit because we want to share it with the world, you know? And whether that means, I don't know, getting likes off of it or getting some money for your art, you know, that's something that comes with making cool art, that it's like a gift, you feel me? And I think, like you said, I don't see anything quote unquote sell outish about making money for making shit, doing shit that you're good at, as long as you're not compromising your values or who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
And for this man, you know, as a family guy, a teacher, and an artist, you know, I think that one thing for maintaining your sanity as a father and a provider is that you gotta remember to also prioritize yourself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just a little bit, man. It's like, you know, you are not being the best dad and husband you can be if you are like not happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you really gotta take care of yourself. So like do what you gotta do to fulfill that little flame a little bit. So you're not just like this shell of a person.
Totally.
You know, because I think we've been there. We have been around people who like you can just tell they're not happy, you know? And that not only that is like it sucks the life out of the room, but it just sucks the life out of you too, you know? I mean your kids are gonna feel that if you're not a happy person.
Yeah.
You know? You gotta do it.
Right. And how wonderful would it be to be an example for your kids, who are probably creative as well, to be like, I mean, I literally don't know how this works because I don't have kids, but like whenever there's free time, if that even exists, or carving it out, or like playtime, you know, like a lot of people are like, we're not iPad babies, or like, okay, well then like be a paintbrush baby. Yeah. So it's like, okay, here's like something that's stimulating, and here's how daddy draws a dinosaur, and and like just try different things with different artistic situations. So it's like, okay, now you do this, and then you can draw whatever you want, or whatever your medium is, and make it a family thing.
I can't wait to force my my hobbies on my children.
What are they liking right now?
Right now, well, you know, what's interesting is for the first, I feel like from like 2 to 3, Veda was heavy Frozen girl, everything Elsa all day, every day.
Yeah.
The other day, she was like, I'm kind of over Elsa. And I was like, oh, well, baby girl, I'm glad we didn't put these big decals on your walls because I was debating that shit. You know? So she hasn't listened to Frozen shit in a long time. She's, I just put on, I don't know if you've ever watched Teen Titans Go.
No.
It is like a DC show. It's like Robin. It's like a little ragtag band of superheroes, but they do like a cartoony, more kid version. They put out a movie called Teen Titans Go to the Movies. It's super funny. But I put it on for Veda the other day, and it's the first movie I've put on for her, fresh, brand new, going into it. She locked in for the whole movie. Had no idea who anybody was. Loved it. And it's a lot of like booty, butt, poop humor, which she loves. And I love as well.
Yeah.
And so she's been super into Teen Titans lately. I'm like, ooh, do I have a little like
little tomboy girl?
Superhero girl? This is how lit is. So it's so fun, right?
That's epic.
Q has been pretty consistently dinosaurs for like the first, I mean, he's only 2, but for the first 2 years of his life, heavy dinosaurs, still loves dinosaurs, can name them all.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll show you during the break. It's lit. So yeah, man, right now she loves painting, drawing, and superheroes. It's pretty cool.
Cool. It's so cool to think about kids starting to find what they like. Like sometimes I come across videos of like Taylor Swift as a kid opening up her first guitar, and like comments are like, little did she know like this would change the trajectory of her life. So I'm really excited to hear what they pick up and just take to. And that becomes, because when you're like, even when you think about, I don't know, presidents, like being a child, and like get their first book or something, and you're like, whoa, you're gonna like rule the world.
Little Trump. What did you want to be when you were a little kid?
I had 3 things that I wanted to be. I wanted to be an actress, a choreographer, and an interior designer.
Oh, fuck.
I kind of became all of them.
Well, damn.
In a way.
How's about that?
How's about that?
Wow.
What about you?
A couple things as well. Preschool, as early as preschool, I remember being like, I want to be a soldier. Just because I played with soldiers a lot.
Totally.
Don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
But early on, I wanted to be entertainer. I wanted to be like, you know, I always said like I was going to be in movies and stuff like that, and like some type of entertainer. I love drawing. One of my early goals as like a young adult even, I wanted to animate for Disney. And I wanted to like design rides, and I wanted to be a Disney animator.
That's cool.
Yeah. That was my main those shits right there. Entertainer, potentially an animator. That's all I can remember really wanting.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this boy who is an animator.
Oh.
And he took me to this place. So there's a Gelson's that used to be the Disney Animation Studios.
Yes.
And
oh, wait, really?
Yes.
A Gelson's supermarket.
Yes.
That used to be an animation studio.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I know.
Go on.
So he was like, this is where, when they were animating Snow White, they were like, the people that were working on it, so the art department and the animators, they would be like 3 blocks down, or not even that, but they would like stay in this like very cute cottage looking apartment complex. So like when you walk through it, I don't know, maybe it was like in the 30s or something, like it looks like Snow White.
What?
And so he took me there. There was like squirrels and everything. He was like, they would walk from here to the Disney animation studios, animate, and then come back, and this is where they would stay.
What?
It was a cool little like Hollywood field trip.
Dang,
like,
that's tight.
I know.
Whoa. And
Yeah.
now there's like just like cucumbers in aisle 3.
And that's the evolution of the world.
He's like, in this cucumber section, actually Walt Disney
Mm-hmm.
put in the first request to cryogenically freeze his head.
Is that what he did?
It's a rumor. It's an old rumor that Walt Disney, his head is cryogenically frozen somewhere. Yeah.
Whoa. Let's fry that and eat it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, if you have questions for us, where can they leave them?
Leave them at speakpipe.com/thanks for tipping, and we'll help you out as much as we can.
Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you get a bottle of Jester's Court. Is it delicious?
Yeah, especially in my coffee.
There you go. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you go watch another episode and follow us on everything.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Bye.